My name is Hattie Carter, and I am going to present to you my semester's worth of plants in the HORT 4050 class. So let's get started. This is kind of an overview of what I'm going to talk about today. I wanted to focus on three main issues that I had throughout my time this semester, as most of my other stuff aligned pretty well with what my other classmates were doing, and I wanted to add new information to the mix. So I had issues with my verbena, issues with my Gerber daisies, and issues with my poinsettias that I will get into throughout this presentation. Just a quick overview of the plants we planted this semester. We were given kind of a wide variety of cuttings, plugs, and seeds for all of the different species. So there wasn't like one main plant that we were focused on, and it was also a mix of perennials and annuals, so quite a wide variety. So to start off, I want to talk about my issues with the verbena that I planted. Um, I basically did not understand when I first started working with them that they were heavy feeders. So as you can see in the photo to the right of the screen, there is a bit of like a yellow tint with the verbena that I was given because I was not fertilizing them enough. So that was a pretty easy fix. I just went ahead and started fertilizing them like they were heavy feeders, similar to the poinsettias, with the 1 to 50 injector ratio at least twice a week. And as you can see here in the green bubble, their new growth was a much darker and fuller green than the old growth with that yellowish tint to it. So it did end up working out with the new fertilizer regime. So my second issue was with my Gerber daisies. I actually accidentally started watering them with the 1 to 50 fertilizer ratio. It ended up having almost detrimental effects, but luckily I caught it. So as you can see here in this photo, the tips of my Gerber daisies started turning a yellowish, kind of yellowish lime green, and parts of it were dying, parts of the mature leaf were dying on the bottom. And I went and checked the electrical conductivity of the plant, and that's when I realized I had completely messed up the fertilizer ratio. So as you can see, this happened during week 3. The EC of my Gerber daisies was actually much higher than the EC of my poinsettias, and that was obviously not the trend that it was supposed to be going in. Poinsettia's EC is supposed to always be higher than the Gerber daisies because they're such high feeders. So I kind of figured out, oh, I had been watering it with the wrong fertilizer ratio. So I immediately corrected that, and I watered all of my Gerber daisies with just plain water and tried to essentially clean the salts that had built up in all of my Gerber daisies and wash them out. And if you can remember back to the chart that I just showed you, my Gerber daisies EC ended up dropping that next week. So the salts were essentially washed out, and you can also see that on the new growth, in this red circle, there was no yellowing of the tips. So it ended up being a lot more healthy after I cleaned out those salts. So then my third issue and final issue was I was gifted everyone's kind of sad poinsettias because I came to the class 2 weeks late, so I wasn't able to pot up poinsettias with everyone else. And that actually proved kind of a challenge for me because I had to essentially rehab them into becoming prettier plants than what I was given. So as you can see, they were all kind of small in the leftmost photos, and then the rightmost photo is what it ended up looking like at the end. So I did end up saving it. And the three main things that I focused on to revitalize them was fertilizing consistently with that 1 to 50 injector ratio. I tried to do so at least twice a week, if not 3 times a week. I tried to trim them in order to make sure that foliage really filled out. And I also was very consistent with my watering. I watered 3 times a week and tried to water at least once over the weekends. Um, Looking back, what I really could have changed, like if I had the opportunity to do this semester over again, would be researching the verbenas. That definitely ended up not being great for me because I didn't know that they were heavy feeders before I started fertilizing them. And if I had done some basic research before starting, that issue could have been completely avoided. Same with the poinsettias and the Gerber daisies. I just should have fertilized correctly in the first place, so that was a very human mistake. My final thoughts for the semester is that I was extremely proud of my plants. I was even able to sell some of them in the trial garden sale back in October. Here's the photo of all of those in the back of the trucks. It was all of the herbs and a lot of the annuals that we had produced. Um, Overall, very rewarding experience, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity. Thank you guys so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at hattie.carter@uga.edu. Thanks again.